the weather today. I've got all of the windows open, which is such a nice feeling. It's making me so excited for spring. I always talk about the birds, but I just love the birds in this house so much. I think because the house is so surrounded by fields, and there's also a little stream sort of quite near to my house, the birds just love it here. And that reminds me, actually, at some point in the next couple of days, I really want to get a bird feeder to put on my window or on my windowsill or something like that. So I'm starting my day in the way that I always do with my AG1. I have been working with AG1 for a really, really long time now because it's just a product that I really believe in and have been using for years. You can guarantee if I call, anyone in my family and say, I'm not feeling great this week, the first question will always be, have you been taking your AG1? And also, if I am ever seeing my friends and they're not feeling great, they've just got a lot going on that they need to feel really good for, I always take them some AG1. There are 70 high quality ingredients in every single scoop. It's got your vitamins, your minerals, your gut-friendly bacteria, and also antioxidants to help support both your physical and your mental health. I really feel the difference throughout the day in terms of my energy levels, my focus levels. It's amazing for your skin health, your hair health. It's good for your digestion. Sorry, the sun just made my camera overheat. But I was just saying that it's so important to me at this really busy end of the year to be feeling the best in my body that I possibly can, to just put me in a really good position with achieving everything that I want to achieve this year. So I love that AG1 not only supports my immune health with my daily dose of vitamin C and zinc, but also supports my gut health with calcium and biotin, which in turn supports everything else. So if you go to drinkag1.com/Hannah Adkins, with your first purchase, AG1 are very kindly giving us a free bottle of vitamin D, which is so important at this time of year, and also 5 free travel packs, which I take everywhere with me. So let's get outside and make the most of this gorgeous weather. Okay, we're in Broadway. I am unfortunately a complete creature of habit, so you can probably guess, even to the point where you could probably say along with me, the places that I'm going to go while we're here. First I need some lunch, so I'm going of course to Broadway Deli. The salads there are just so good, we know this, I always go. And then of course we'll have to look at Home with the Rudds. I love that shop. And then I want to go to Oka because we're looking for furniture and bits for the house. And then there's a couple of other places. Anyway, let's go and get some lunch. So this was my doctor's growing up. In there used to be the waiting room. How beautiful is this fireplace? Look at the details. today is one of those days where I just feel, do you know when you just feel so, I don't even know what the word is, so grateful and honestly in disbelief that this is where I get to live and this is what the world looks like and everything is so beautiful and there's so much to live for and there's so much to be grateful for, and I don't know, it's just one of those days where life just feels so good. I'm stuck behind a tractor, by the way, so if you're wondering why I'm going 10 miles an hour, that's why. And see, that's a perfect example on how perspective changes everything, because normally if I'd be stuck behind a tractor, I'd probably be thinking, oh, how long am I going to be stuck behind this tractor? How late am I going to be? I need to get somewhere. Another tractor's about to pull out in front of me, literally about to pull out in front of me. Oh no, they're waiting for me. That's nice, thank you. Some days, and I think we all have these days, some days I would let something as simple as a tractor pulling out in front of me be enough to frustrate me or irritate me or make me annoyed. On days like today when I have perspective and clarity, and how the very fact that I woke up today and I get to have another day of living on this planet, of experiencing life, should be enough to never let something as small as that take away even 5 minutes of happiness from what will be a finite number of days that we have in this life, And I'm saying this to myself more than anyone because I think this week I've just had a few days where I've not felt great, and whenever I really think about how I'm living in the times when I'm not feeling great and I'm not feeling good about myself, or just days that we all have, whenever I think about why that is, it's always the days that I have spent consecutive days too much time inside, too much time on my phone, too much time looking internally and worrying about things about me, like what I look like, and I've been saying this for years, but sometimes even I need the reminder, even though I know it so deeply to be true, that sometimes all you need is just to go outside and just be present in the world, in nature, and just be reminded of just how small, truly small, some of the things that we worry about are when you look at them in the context of the world as a whole and the amount of life there is, just all of the life that's happening all around us all of the time, and how beautifully all of it is linked, and how much every living thing on this planet and every part of the planet depends on each other. I don't know, I just think it's really important from time to time to just remember how much of a blessing and a privilege it is to even exist, to even get to have another day. Pretty sure I'm right in thinking that this building was once the school, long before I was there. This is the town hall, and when I was really little, I won a public speaking competition here, and my parents still bring that up to this day. building behind here, which I can't get any closer to, is where I went to nursery, so when I was 2, and is where I met my oldest friend Grace. The entrance used to be down there, and I can remember walking up there with my mum. This was the library where I first fell in love with reading. You can actually read the children's library sign, and I used to sit for hours in there with my mum. It's such a strange feeling whenever I come back here, because so much of who I am was sort of decided here. So much of what makes me me is because of things that happened to me, both good and bad, here. Because this is, like I said, I went to play school here when I was 2. I went to primary school here until I was, is it 11? I think you leave primary school. Then I went to my first secondary school here. I went to 2 different secondary schools, which I'm sure you can fill in the gaps there to figure out why. So it's a place that's really so significant to me. It really made me. I saw loads of the children from the schools here, the primary school and the secondary school, and I was looking at the secondary school children and I was just thinking, I really hope that you're having a better time than I had, and that you had a better day today than I often had at school. I don't know if it's different now, but I know that when I was at school, bullying there wasn't really ever anything done about bullying, no matter how extreme. I just can't believe, looking back now that I'm an adult and now that I look at the children at school and they're so little, and I just can't believe that more wasn't done and that more isn't done so often, because I hear this same story over and over. And just simple things like, you know, everybody knew in the whole school, all the teachers, all the children, everybody knew that I, you know, had sort of been isolated. And I just can't believe that teachers still put me in a position where they would make us choose pairs and make us choose in PE teams and groups, and knowing full well that I would always be left till last. I just really can't understand why more isn't done to protect children, even as simple as not making people choose their own pairs, putting people in pairs if you know that some children in the class won't have anybody to go with, and choosing teams in PE, and making there safe spaces for people who are on their own at lunchtimes and have nobody to be with. And there just wasn't any of that, and let alone any sort of action taken in terms of the people that were putting me in that position, or the people that put anybody in that position. Anyway, that's all very deep. Oh, I haven't eaten my cookie. Do you want me to show you my cookie? It's a dark chocolate cookie. She did warn me that it was quite bitter because it's vegan, but it smells amazing. It's chewy. Maybe I'm just used to dark chocolate, but that is honestly delicious. That's not bitter at all. And it's chewy, and it Anyway, I think I'm going to make one more stop on the way home, just at another sort of home shop, because we haven't had much luck today, but I know I've got parcels waiting for me at home, so if all else fails, we can have a look at that. Morning. Sorry that I didn't say goodnight last night. That was rude of me, wasn't it? But it's a new day and I have had a Zara home delivery. So I thought we could go through this together. I've opened it, but I've not actually got anything out or looked at it because I thought, like I said, we'd do it together. Obviously, I originally went onto the website to look for things that I actually need for the house. But all I ordered was completely unnecessary things that nobody needs, but still fun. So I will show you. High on the list of things that I don't need is more tea towels, but I just couldn't resist these tea towels. Let me take this off and show you. They have like little farm drawings on, and I just thought that was so cute, so I got them. As I said, not really necessary. Another thing, talking of probably very unnecessary, although I don't know, I think she'll love this, is a dog blanket. And actually I do have lots of uses for this, so maybe I sort of did need it, or really needed it anyway. But I thought it was, first of all, actually quite nice, and secondly, it's lined on the inside with this, I don't know what you call this, but you know, the super soft sort of fabric that she just absolutely loves, so I thought she needed that. On the topic of Rue, whether to even get into this, I don't know. But in fact, I will really briefly get into it because I would quite like your advice. So nothing dramatic actually at all, probably just me being very dramatic, if anything. I have been in tears twice this week about this, which is dramatic, to be honest, when I tell you. If you're wondering where Rue is, she's at my parents'. If she's ever not with me, the only place she ever is at my parents'. She doesn't ever go to daycare or anything. It's always my parents', which is really nice for her. However, this is what I've been crying about this week, because obviously Rue is fully my dog. Kenny and I got Rue together when we were living in Manchester, and we honestly, the house that we bought in Manchester was basically for Rue because I wanted to give her a garden. And for the first, if she's 3.5, first 2.5 years of her life, she obviously lived fully with me and up in Manchester. But then last year when Kenny left and it was just me looking after Rue, Rue had to spend lots of time with my parents. As you might know, she's sort of been there a lot over the last year, just purely because work commitments and things that I couldn't take Rue with me for, I would have to bring her down to my parents, but obviously that's 2 hours actually from Manchester. So she would end up staying because I couldn't sort of drop her off on a Monday, pick her up on a Tuesday, drop her off on a Friday. You know, she just ended up staying for sort of a week at a time. Now, this is where the problem comes, because during this time, Rue basically bonded so much, obviously with my parents, but also my parents have a dog and a cat and a much bigger garden than me, and both of my parents are obviously retired. They're home all day every day. I mean, I'm home all day every day, but I'm often on my laptop and busy and, you know, not very entertaining for Rue, and probably see where this is going. But it basically got to a point where Rue much preferred, this is so heartbreaking for me, hence the crying. I'm not going to cry because that's ridiculous. Rue obviously much preferred being there, which is completely, it makes total sense. She's got another dog to play with, 2 humans that are always, you know, giving her attention, always doing things like in the garden and pottering around, and a cat as well for extra entertainment. So, yeah, she just loves it there so much. So obviously when I moved down here, I thought it would be perfect because Rue would live here with me because I'm her mum, and you know, she can still see my parents and we go for a walk with Poppy every day, which is their dog, and that sort of thing. However, basically, much to my heartbreak, whenever I bring Rue home to her house, which is this house, she is just not the same dog. It's just obvious that she'd rather be with my parents, and that makes me so sad to the point of crying, because I love Rue obviously so much, and I got Rue because I want a dog, and especially living on my own, I love the company of having Rue, but also I love Rue so much that I now feel guilty when she's here, which is, again, there's some of you that are going to think I'm so ridiculous for this, but I really hope there's someone out there that maybe could relate or has had a similar situation and can give me some advice on what I should do. I know in an ideal world what I would do is get another dog, because I think that's really what Rue would love, but I just can't, not while I'm living on my own. It wouldn't be fair, because then my parents would end up with 3 dogs at theirs whenever I'm busy, and it's just not fair. So I really can't do that. So what I've been doing is having both dogs here, because then Rue's much happier. The dogs have each other for company. Obviously I do everything I can for Rue. She goes out on at least 1 really long walk a day, if not 2 walks a day. I play with her, I talk to her, I give her all sorts of like enrichment things so that she's not bored. I'm in the house all day. She is never ever left on her own, even for an hour really. She's always with me. But when she comes to mine, she lies on the doormat and basically whines to go back to my parents' house. She also doesn't eat when she's here. And yeah. It's just been really on my mind this week, because I really thought moving home, this would be like the perfect solution. And yeah. This is going to seem so ridiculous to some people. I feel like it's a battle between what I want selfishly, which is for her to be here all of the time, and then also what she wants, which is basically to be at my parents' house. My parents are amazing about it. They have Rue all the time. They don't mind. They absolutely love Rue. Clearly they love her too much, because now she prefers them. But anyway, that's the Rue situation. So if she's ever not here, it's because I've given in and given her what she wants and taken her to my parents' house. But genuinely, if anyone has any advice on basically how to get my dog back and how to make her love me and feel like this is her home, maybe it's also because we've moved, so this doesn't feel like home to her. I don't know. Just if anyone can help, let me know. But I bought her a blanket, so hopefully she likes that. What else? A mini colander. Colander, that is what they're called. It sounds wrong when I say it out loud. I just thought it was a really pretty one. I got a couple of these soup plates because I use these all the time, and I just thought these are really pretty. And last and honestly least needed, were these little paper napkins, which I honestly just got because they're so pretty. I love the print on them. And obviously there will be an occasion to use them, although I don't really want to use them. I kind of just want to keep them on display. Again, it's kind of like a farm scene. That's all of the unnecessary things I bought on Zara Home. This is the difficulty when you're on home sites looking for things that you actually need. It's basically impossible not to fall into the trap of buying things you don't need. But that's what I got. I've got a couple of other deliveries coming today of things I do need, actually. So if they arrive in time, I will show you that. Okay, I've just had two massive, I'm out of breath because I just bought them upstairs, but I've had a delivery of two huge rugs for this weird sort of empty part of the house, because step one, well, I don't think it's step one, it's just the only thing I could find, but the first thing I'm going to do in this bit of the room is put a rug down, because I'm desperate to incorporate just some warmth into the room, and colour's probably far too strong of a word because they're not very colourful, but it's colour for me. Actually, let me show you the space and then you've got a better idea of what we're working with. Okay, so this is what we're working with. Obviously, as you can see, it's just a completely empty space and everything that you can see isn't going to stay here. So this chair has got another home. It's just there because otherwise there's literally nothing here. And then again, this mirror will have another home that will eventually go in my dressing room if it ever resembles a dressing room. And then I've just got random paintings and things. So I'm thinking big desk, probably in the window, purely because I think that would be nice. Bookshelf, maybe, next to the desk, that could be nice. And I want to put a couple of armchairs here. But anyway, let's try these rugs. I don't need both, so we're just going to choose one or the other, and I will send the other one back. So maybe I don't cut that all the way open. Both of these rugs are just from Dunelm because I did not realise that a rug could cost you, honestly, thousands. And I don't really have a very good track record with rugs. Always something happens to them, so I am reluctant to spend, well, I'm not reluctant, I'm just not spending thousands on a rug. With a little dog running around, and obviously I haven't had children yet, so they'll ruin it if the dog doesn't ruin it, or I'll probably just ruin it with a cup of tea or something. So yeah, these were both, I think they were both under £200. So if they're nice, then I can put a link to them. I already don't think I like it, but I don't know. Oh no. I don't think I like it. Or is it just because I'm not used to it? Okay, the chair's in the way. Okay, so this is the first one to give you a better idea because I don't know what you can see on the camera. I'm just really not sure. I don't know. Let's have a look at the other one. These are going to be so annoying. I hope I like one of them. Okay, so this one is washable, so I would need to... How do I do this? Okay, so I definitely don't like the second one. I think two things. I think the fact that it's washable makes it kind of a weird finish that I don't like. Secondly, it doesn't add any warmth to the room whatsoever, and that's kind of the whole point. So the second one is definitely going back, and I'm really not sure on the first one either. So please let me know what you think, and whether I just need to actually, you know, once I've got furniture and armchairs and a desk and everything, whether it will look nice or whether actually I probably just need to invest more in a rug and get one that I really like. Just let me know what you think. Okay, I put the samples in the window quickly just so that we can look at them in the natural light. As you can see, I'm in a few different minds about this. So if you don't mind going through them with me, I'd actually love your advice and your input because I'm so undecided. So on the more neutral end, these are sort of like my safe options. So the one that I would definitely usually go for is this, which is obviously a cream. It's so safe. You know that it will go with everything. It's obviously very neutral. You know it will be nice and bright and light in the room, and you just can't ever really, I mean, no one really objects to light colours. However, I was talking about this with the sales assistant in the shop, and we were just saying, you know, dogs, cups of tea, glasses of wine, maybe even babies in the future. And I'm the kind of person, I want to live in my house. I don't want to have to worry about, you know, telling guests not to drink on the sofa or trying to keep Rue off the sofa. That's just so not me. So then we started to think maybe this wasn't sensible. So then we have the two options up from that. We have this one, which is kind of like a almost mushroomy but very light sort of mushroomy grey tone. It's in a more textured fabric. Then we have this one which is called Teabag, which is very me, which is in a velvet. If I put them together, this one's slightly more green toned maybe. But yeah, when I spoke to the lady, she said the most durable fabrics are the clever cotton and the velvet. So they're really the ones that I'd like to try and steer towards. So then taking it up a notch out of my comfort zone, we've got the greens and the brown tones. I love all of these, but it feels so bold on a sofa. But maybe I'm just being, like, maybe I just need to be braver and it will pay off, I don't know. We have the cotton option, which is a very, I don't know, just a very grey but very green sort of tone. Then we have Wine Bottle, which again is kind of like a browny green velvet colour. And then we have the truest of the browns in the velvet. I'm really not sure on this. I more bought this home as sort of a guide to show us what's brown and what's green, because when you put them all together, it really brings out the green and everything else. But I didn't love this when we used the big sample in the shop. Okay, and then finally, the boldest choices, but actually also my favourite. Deep down, these are the ones that I love the most, but I just don't know whether they won't necessarily go in the house or future houses. They don't really go with anything else that I own. I don't know if they're too dark. I really would love to know your opinions, because I know that lots of you will have sofas in all of these different tones, so let me know. Obviously these two are very much leaning into the red tones, and probably my favourite of all of them is this, which is the velvet in sticky toffee. It's like almost like a rust colour. This just looked incredible when it was on a full sofa. It's just such a cool colour. But again, I'm ordering a pretty big sofa, so I don't know whether it's going to feel too out of place or almost too dark for the room. I can imagine the kind of house this would look incredible in, and I just don't know if it's mine. That's my concern with this. A slightly safer option is to get it in the cotton, because the cotton is more sort of matte. It just feels a lot less modern. And obviously everything else in my house is traditional, but maybe it's cool to mix traditional and modern. I don't know, but I have to order this sofa on Sunday when you're seeing this. So please, if you have listened to this, then I would love to know what you think. I'll read every single comment on this because I'm so undecided. So I'm really excited about it, but I also just really want to get it right. So yeah, let me know. I'm about to indulge in my one guilty pleasure, which is Love Island. I don't really watch much TV at all, but for some reason I love Love Island. I think it's just pure escapism, and just there's something so fun about just watching humans be humans, and it's so far from my current reality. Like, there is no drama, zero drama in my life, and for some reason I just really enjoy it. This week's video feels like it's been a little bit of just everything, like just a complete mix actually of just whatever I've been up to over the last couple of days, but hopefully it was... What word should I even use here? Hopefully you enjoyed it, that's what I'm trying to say. So thank you so much for being here as always. I hope you have the best week, and I can't wait to catch up with you next weekend.